Thank you for tuning in to the Exotic Zoo Animal Show today. This is our virtual show. What I want to do is I want to thank everyone for inviting the Exotic Zoo to your library, but you know, because of the coronavirus, we cannot be in person, so we have to do it over the computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you a variety of animals. We've got some really cool mammals you can see, some really cute furry animals. Let me start out with my first animal. The first one I'm going to bring out, his name is Whiskers. He's really, really rare. There's only about 3 zoos in Michigan that have one. I am one of those zoos that's blessed with one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this guy. He's really cool. The Exotic Zoo, normally when we perform our shows, you're able to touch the animals. So normally if we were at your library, you would be touching the animals. But today, because of the coronavirus right now, you can't touch them. Let me bring out this cool guy. So this is what we call Whiskers here. So you look at Whiskers, the reason why we call him Whiskers, he's got these really, really big whiskers here. So he's got the real big whiskers. They're kind of hanging out of his face. He uses them for sensing at nighttime. He's looking for fruit. He's looking for insects. He's looking for rodents and frogs. The tail is very special. This is called a prehensile tail. So a prehensile tail, it's not like your dog or your cat. It's a tail that gives the animal balance. Why would it need balance? Because when it's in the tree, it will be really dangerous for this animal to fall out the tree, especially at a really high height. If it falls out the tree, it could break a bone, it could break his neck. That'd be very, very dangerous. So it needs this special tail. In fact, it is the largest animal in the world with a prehensile tail. Now, he's called a bearcat and a binturong. So bearcat, the reason why they call him a bearcat is because he kind of looked like a combination of a bear and a cat. Let me get a little treat out for this guy, see if he wants some treats. So we got some grapes here. You want a couple grapes? So look how he kind of stands up like a bear. A bear would do the same thing. But even though you know a bear is going to be much more powerful, but he does have some really cool paws. He kind of look a little bit like a red panda. That's what I hear some people say sometimes when you see his really cool paws. He was born January 26th. So he's going to grow about 75 pounds. He's going to be a very, very big animal. And you can kind of see how he balanced. Kind of used me like a tree branch. Whiskers. He want to play around with me. So come here. You can't give me kisses right now. We're trying to show them. We're trying to show you up to the TV. All right. So he want to kind of hang on me. So like I said about a bear cat, he kind of look like a combination of a bear and a cat. He's going to grow about 75 pounds. If you're wondering, what does his fur feel like? It's pretty coarse. It's coarse. It's kind of laid back right now, but it's a long fur. It's long and it's thick. It's going to help him when he's in the jungle and Southeast Asia. He likes it warm. They like really warm climates. They don't like it really cold. They need to be kept warm. When they breed, they usually, when they reproduce, they usually only have about 1 to 5 young. Some have had litters of more, but usually around 3 or 4 is pretty common. This is not a pet. I know he looks really cute, but remember, he's not a pet. Come here, Whiskers. You want this one? All right, I'm going to take that one. Is that pretty cool? You don't give me a high five? Give me a high five. I'm trying to think of some questions that you all may have. The things on the top of his ears, so they kind of look like tufts a little bit. They help him to camouflage. It also is going to send signals down inside of his ear, just like they do for owls and different exotic cats. You can kind of see how he walks around. The tail gives him balance not only in the trees, but while he's walking on the ground. The long tail is going to give him some balance, and they kind of communicate with each other with different sounds and different movements by their head and their tail. That's how they communicate with their body language. We're going to move on to our next animal. Let me get ready to put Whiskers away. Whiskers, you going to say bye to everyone? You want to climb. We're just kind of watch him climb on a tree stump a little bit. You want to show off. Now look how massive and wide he is. You can kind of see how wide he is. I'll see if you want a banana. Let's see, come here. You want to come back up here? Whiskers, right up here. So I want you to see how massive, like how wide he is. His body is really wide and he's still young. He's not even 1 year old yet. You want to come up here? I guess he don't want the banana. He liked the grapes a little better. I gave him 2 of them earlier already. So let me put this guy away. Let's get ready to bring our next one out. And remember, I'm picking him up by his tail because he have a prehensile tail. He hangs by his tail. Never do this with your dog, your cat. Never do this with any other animal, but this one have a special tail for such a purpose. All right, so now we're going to get ready to meet this little girl. She's really cute. I want to bring out Bethany. So we take a good look at Bethany. She's our little baby groundhog. She's only about 5 weeks old. 5 weeks old. Another names for groundhogs. So you got groundhog, you have beaver, and you have woodchucks. There's many others that I'm not going to go through right now, but beaver, woodchuck, and groundhog is the most 3 common names that you usually hear referring to this animal. Now, look how thick she is right now. She's got some milk. I just gave her a little bottle a little bit earlier. So her mom nurses and feeds her. And then what we start to do is after we're weaning her off her mom, I start to bottle feed her and get her acclimated to shows and to human interaction. So if you see a beaver or a groundhog in your backyard, make sure you do not try to approach them because they're not going to be friendly like this little girl here. She's only friendly because I am trained to handle and train exotic animals. I know their behavior, I studied their behavior, characteristics, their habitat. So it's not so easy where you think you just get an animal when it's young, you pick it up, you rub it on the head, and it's always going to be friendly to you. That's not true. Animals go through different stages and behavior changes. So this is a mammal. What do I mean when I say she's a mammal? First, mammals usually have hair. She have hair. She doesn't have scales like a reptile. She's warm-blooded. What do that mean? Does that mean her blood is warm? No, it doesn't mean her blood is warm. What it really means is she's able to produce her own body heat. So what does it really mean? Able to produce her own body heat mean if it's cold outside, she can still produce a body temperature, keep a steady body temperature. Now, if that were a reptile, like a cold-blooded animal, when it's cold outside, the reptile is going to be cold. If it's really hot outside, the reptile is going to be pretty hot. It usually absorbs the temperature of its environment. So it usually gets its heat source from the sun. If it's not in the wild, then it's going to get its heat source from like a zoo, like when they have lights, heat lights and different things on them as far as warming a reptile up. Now, when you look at the nails here, these nails are pretty long. Why are the nails so long? Because they have to dig in the ground, they find different nuts, they find worms. These worms that dig down in the ground, they eat the worms. They eat a lot of different type of beetles, earthworms, all different things, insects that they find in the ground. It's really good for the groundhog to eat. They also eat a lot of tree roots. They eat tree bark. The reason why they do that, if the groundhog, if it keeps on eating, when it eats a lot, it's going to dull and file its teeth down. So that means the teeth are not going to continue to grow and grow and grow and overgrow. They're going to keep a steady length because when the groundhog eats, it keeps it kind of filed down. But if the groundhog is not eating a proper diet, the teeth can overgrow and cause problems. They do have some really powerful teeth. Trying to think of any questions that you all may want to know. This is the kind of species of groundhog that is native to Michigan. So this is not a different type of species. This is one of the larger rodents. It's in the squirrel family. So it is a rodent, but it's in the family of a squirrel. It is the largest species of animal in the squirrel family. So the native squirrel that you see does not pack on the weight that you see this girl does. The males are bigger, slightly bigger, about 10% larger than the females. So this is a female. She's not going to grow as big as a male, but generally the males are usually bigger. So we're going to be putting her on solid food within the next couple of weeks. She'll be eating a lot of different dandelion, a lot of different plants, and we feed her some insects too. All right, we're going to say bye-bye to Bethany. All right, let me get ready to put her away. So the next one I have to make a little space. I have to clear the table up a little bit because I'm going to need some room to move around for Marvin that I'm going to bring out. So when I bring Marvin out, you're going to see Marvin, look at those spikes, look at all those quills. So the spikes are really called quill. Quill. They're really hard. That's his protection. Because I know you probably wonder, why would he need all those sharp quills? The reason why he needs them is because he has very ferocious predators. Predators are animals that would love to eat this guy. So when you look at a lion, a hyena, a leopard, even the African wild dogs and vultures, they can eat the porcupine. So animals smaller like this compared to those big animals, he needs an advantage. His advantage is the quills. He has over 10,000 of these quills. You have a lot of them. And when some of them fall out, they grow back. They're not going to grow back immediately. It takes a process of time, over a couple weeks, couple months, for him to grow some more back. He's called the crested porcupine because this is his crest. You looking for it here? It's right here. This is his crest right here. Kind of look like a mohawk. Helps him to blend in. When I talk about blending in, camouflaging, disguising yourself so you're not so easily seen in the tall grass. And these are the shark quills. They have no poison, no venom. So it's not like if an animal gets stuck by them, it's not like the animal is going to die because it has some bad poison or venom in them. That's not true. And this is not the kind of porcupine from Michigan. Michigan, we have the North American porcupine, but this one here is called the African crested porcupine, which is found in Africa, all throughout Africa and Italy. It kind of reminds me of the groundhog a little bit because the teeth look like the groundhog. This is an animal that's primarily an omnivore, but it leans more towards a herbivore because they eat a lot of roots, a lot of tree roots, a lot of dandelion, a lot of native plants to Africa. They can also eat fruit. So some fruit that falls down from the tree, they're going to help clean it up. They're going to help disperse some seeds. So they eat the seeds. They don't destroy the seeds. They eat the seeds. When they go to the bathroom and poop it out, that's going to place seeds in many different places. That's probably why some people wonder, how did a seed get in this place or how did it get there? It's because an animal like this porcupine placed it there. Now he doesn't shoot the quills out. So how is his victims? How do they get stuck with the quills? The way they're stuck is by the animal making contact. He's going to ram at his predators like a bull. So he's going to shove himself really quick. He's going to bump you like that. Once he bump you and he stick you with those, they're going to let go. They're going to release into the animal's body, and then usually the animal will go away. If a lion or leopard was trying to eat him, they get stuck with those quills because he's able to point them up really high if he wants to. He lay them down when he's really calm, when there's really no threat. But when he feel like I need to protect myself from something, that's when he's going to lift those quills up really high. They're made of the same material, the same stuff that my fingernails and your fingernails are made of is the same stuff that his quills are made of, which is keratin. It's made of keratin. You want some right here? He had dead quills at the end of his tail. It's a little brown. Look at the end of his tail. Those quills are kind of brown because they're dead. They're not alive. So what the purpose is, if they're not alive, why would he have them on his body? The reason is, it's like a rattlesnake, like dead scales. He doesn't bark like a dog. So what is his warning if you're getting too close or he feel irritated or you're bothering him? His method is rattling those quills. He's going to shake those quills very vividly, really quick. He's going to shake them vigorously like that. He's going to shake them. And when he shakes them, it makes a sound like a rattling sound. That gets your attention or any other animal's attention, letting you know, hey, you're getting too close. You're getting in my personal space. That's why he's going to do that. Again, this is the African crested porcupine. He's a male. He's about 39 pounds. He's around 5 or 6 years old. And the females are going to grow almost twice as big. Almost twice as big. So the females can reach anywhere between 60 and 75 pounds. I'm going to get ready to put Marvin away. When I put Marvin away, Then we're going to move on to a few of our other animals we're going to get a good chance to see. He is cute. I don't know about so much of a cuddly, but I do think this guy is pretty cute. Do you want to go inside? You don't want to go in? You want one of your, I think you want one of his treats to go in with him. You want one of your treats to go in with you, Marvin? Come on, Marvin. He's trying to make his mind up if he want to go in or not. Here, we'll give you some. Marvin, you want to come right here? I got some more. Come here, I got some more. I gave him some more banana. I guess he wanted to kind of chew on that banana and play around with it. So our next animal I'm going to bring up is a cat. We have any cat lovers? Any of you guys like cats? So this is a really cool cat. It's not a lion, it's not a tiger, but it is a really cool cat. Her name is Nairobi. When I bring Nairobi out, remember, usually you will have a chance and an opportunity to touch her, but today we won't be able to touch her because we're doing a virtual show, virtual learning. Because of the coronavirus, we want everyone to stay safe. But normally you would have the opportunity to touch this girl. She is just a little bit over a year. You want some grapes? Come here, I'll give you some grapes. You want to see if she's going to go in here. So I guess she went in pretty good. All right, let me get ready to bring out Nairobi, and we'll talk a little bit about cats. Take a look at this amazing, beautiful girl. She's so beautiful. She's called the Siberian lynx. She's also known as the Eurasian lynx. She's the largest of all the species of lynx. Look at these amazing ears. She points her ears up so she's able to hear. She can hear animals running underneath the snow, underneath the tall grass, such as mice, rabbits. She hunt geese, deer, and duck. Let me see. So right now, she's not fully grown. She's going to grow bigger. She's not fully grown right now. But she does have a really unique tail also. If you kind of see her tail, she uses her tail. She wags it around, and she's going to distract prey, such as rabbits. When her head is buried in the grass, she wiggles her tail like that. It gets their attention. Now they're focused on her tail and not really on her. So that does give her an opportunity and advantage to hunt. She's been known to reach speeds, the Siberian lynx, of 35 to 38 miles per hour. They're able to jump about 10 to 11 feet in the air. She has retractable claws. What does that mean? It means she's able to do this with her nails. She's able to kind of close them up and open them back up when she needs them. If she needs to open them up, she'll open them up. When she's not using them, they're going to be shut closed. That's the purpose of her nails. And that's why they're retractable, because they're going to slow her down if she's not using them. So that's why she gets a chance to close them up. Also, her eyesight is very good. She's always watching. She's always on the prowl. Any little movement, the slightest movement, this little girl is going to be watching, and she's going to try to attack at the slightest movements. Now, when we look at her color, not all the lynx have the spots like this. She kind of had the spots that look a little bit like a leopard or a cheetah. Those spots is because she comes from a place called the Carpathian Mountains. In the Carpathian Mountains, in that region, they have the spots. But even if you look at the Canadian lynx from Michigan, well, the Canadian lynx really is not from Michigan, but it travels through Michigan sometimes. So it does have a beard on it, but it doesn't have as many spots as this. It's normally gray. So she's going to have a lot more spots. she has some really big teeth, really big paws for running on the snow and not falling down in the snow. If her paws were small, she'll fall in the snow because she doesn't get much traction. And like I said, right now she's still young, but she's going to be fully grown when she's about 3 years old. That is the age where she can breed. She is native to Asia, Russia, Siberia, and all throughout Europe. But what we have here native to Michigan is a bobcat. So bobcats kind of look like this a little bit, but they don't have as many spots, and a bobcat is much smaller than a lynx. And no, I do not recommend her as a pet, not in any way. She's not a good pet at all. So let me get ready to put her away so we take a good look at some more. All right, so this other little girl I'm going to bring out, her name is Punchki. She's going on 11 years old. I've had her for a long time. She's like my second oldest animal. One of my second oldest animals. Now when we take a good look at Punchki, what's special about her is she's nocturnal. Nocturnal means she sleeps during the daytime. In the wild, in the rainforest, she will be sleeping in Central and South America at this time. But she's awake because she's able to adapt. Animals have the ability, many animals have the ability to adapt, which means to change. They make adjustments. She made adjustments by not sleeping at night, not sleeping during the day and being awake during the day, which her natural behavior, she would be asleep right now. When we go to bed is usually when she will wake up and she looks for her food at night. That is the reason why her eyes are so big. Her eyes are much larger than normal, especially for an animal this size, because she's not a big animal. She's called a kinkajou and also a honey bear. Now when I say bear, whenever you hear the word bear, that does not mean an animal is really a true bear in the sense that people generally think of bears. Like a polar bear, grizzly bear, she's not in that family. But she's called a honey bear because she has the gold color underneath her belly. They kind of look a little bit like honey, that gold color. Her little paws kind of give a resemblance of a bear at the time they're born, when they're really young. And even right now, her paws kind of look like a bear if you see the underpad of it. So the big eyes for seeing at night. She's smaller because she's female. She's equipped with the prehensile tail like we talked about with the bear cat earlier. She's able to hang on with this tail like this here. See how she hangs on? In the rainforest, she's going to be swinging back and forth like that. And then also, she moved those little ears. So while you hear things going on, the trees are moving and the leaves are falling, she can hear all of that. And she's moving her ears around because at night there's not much light available. Most of the light that she's going to receive comes from the moon and the stars that we see in the sky. It's not completely dark at night. So a lot of times people think animals can see in a room. Like if you have a room and you turn all the lights off and no windows, the animal can't see. Because even in the wild, it's not completely dark. There's still stars and there's still the moon in the sky that helps them be able to see. Now her feet, when you look at her rear feet right here, they're able to turn around 180-degree angle. So that means they can turn all the way around backwards. And the reason why her feet turns around backwards, when she's really high in the tree and she wants to lower herself safely, how can she do that safely? By turning her feet all the way around. It's like a car being able to spin all the way around, just easily turn all the way around. Instead of backing up and turning and backing up and turning, her feet turns all the way around. Instead of her going up, it makes her where she can also go down very easily with her feet turning around like that. We're going to put Punchki away, and then I'll get ready to bring this other one out here. I'm going to get a chance to meet Darwin. Now Darwin is going to be our last animal. His father, well this is Darwin Jr. His father is Big Darwin. So let me get ready to bring out Darwin Jr. He's about 15 months old. So we have the little baby Kangaroo. This is little Darwin. He's not a joey. He was a joey. Joeys are when they're really young, when they're about 13 months and younger. That's when they're considered a joey. He is what we call a red kangaroo. I'll kind of turn him here where you can see his, kind of see a little forward. He's a red kangaroo. And why is he called a red kangaroo if he kind of look a little like he's gray? It's because he have gray shades, but he also have little orange-red shades to him. And the bigger he grow, and the more he become mature, he's going to give off more of a reddish-orange color. There's an oil that's in his body that it excretes an oil out of his body, and it turns his fur that red color. And they usually display more of the red on their chest. The males usually do that during the breeding season and let them know they're a adult male, they're a powerful adult male, so they let the female kangaroos know that. So a group of kangaroos are called a mob. Let's all say mob. So a mob is what you call a group of kangaroos. A group of lemurs will be called a troop, but kangaroos are called a mob. Now look how big his feet are. He has some really big feet for his size. The reason why his feet are so big, they're made so that he can cover a very long distance in a very short period of time. That's why his feet are really big. He's from the family called the micropod family. And micropod, the true meaning of it really means Bigfoot family. And look at the kangaroo's tail. If he did not have this tail, if he didn't have a tail at all, how would he stand up? Because he would be improperly balanced. He wouldn't be balanced properly. So the tail completes his balance, it completes his stance. That's how he's able to stand and even hop. He's not going to smack you with his tail. He's not like a lizard. So lizards, they whack other animals with their tail if they're threatening them and they need to protect themselves, they use their tail. This guy is going to lean back on his tail and he can kick at a threat, or other kangaroos that kind of threaten him or give him problems, he'll give a good kick. Now a fully grown male kangaroo can jump about 13 to 15 feet directly straight up in the air. Now when talking about a leaping long distance, which is called a bound, when he leaps, that's going to reach about 30 to 35 feet away. And when kangaroos are hopping at fast speeds, they can reach speeds known of 35 to 45 miles per hour. Now why would they need to run that fast? They would need to run that fast because dingoes and native dogs to Australia, those dingoes, they could eat this kangaroo. So if he does not run fast enough and hop away fast enough, he's going to be dinner for another animal. So that's why they need to run really fast and get away. They can run at a long distance. And dingoes can run pretty fast too. But the kangaroo is usually able to hop longer without getting tired. The dingoes get tired faster than the kangaroo would. So they both almost can run almost the same speed, but the kangaroos can keep that speed up for a longer time. Now you see this little harness on him, it helps support him. We don't put the collars on him, but the harness helps support him. When you look at these legs right here, those legs are made almost kind of like a T-Rex, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, because when you see trees and many different things, he's going to grab onto the leaves. He's going to pull the leaves down when he grows even bigger and taller. He's going to be able to reach onto some of those tree branches and pull those leaves down and eat them. He's a complete herbivore. So what I mean by a herbivore, that's a plant eater, a vegetarian. He's not going to eat any meat, even though when he grow up really big, he's going to look impressive and kind of intimidating and kind of scary looking because he's so strong, but he's not going to eat any meat. All of the muscles come from eating many different types of plants, various different types of grasses. So they're grazers. Grazers mean they eat on a lot of grasses all the time. I give them orchard grass, I give them Timothy hay, I give them barley grass, I give them chard and many different types of leafy greens. And we give them a little bit of bananas. I think the porcupine took most of the bananas I had, so I have to give them a little bit. This is not any milk. If you wanted to know, it's not any milk. It is some water. It's a little hot outside today, so I'm giving him some water to keep him hydrated. Kangaroos are able to go several days without water because in Australia, sometimes there's not water available in the area where the kangaroo is at that day. So that's why they're able to go a longer time without water. So when they do find an area where they can drink some water, they usually drink a lot at the time, like in camel, because they don't encounter the water very often. So when they do get a chance to drink, they want to drink a lot of it. This bottle just dispersed the water very slowly. So it's just that it's not much water coming out of here. That's why it's taking a longer time. I'm just trying to think of another question. So the when you look at this here, he does not have a pouch because he is not a female kangaroo. That's the reason why I do not have a pouch. Only the males, only the female have the pouch. The males do not have a pouch at all. Again, this is Darwin, the red kangaroo. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Exotic Zoo virtual animal show. Normally our shows are in person and hands-on, but today I want to thank you for tuning in to the virtual show. Take care, God bless.